to rumors that Outlaw may be leaving to the city, maybe leaving Philadelphia and heading to another city, the Big Apple. Jeff Cole live.
Hold on. The police chief, the super woke police chief, the super woke sister police chief of Philadelphia, a city that is experiencing basically what is a purge. They're in the midst of a purge. And yes, let him go, Larry Krasner, a.k.a. Mr. Softy, the Philadelphia district attorney, has a lot to do with it. However, Sister Cop, she got a lot to do with it too. And I did a video expose on her words. And I'll put a link to that in the description box. Make sure you check that out, or pinned comment. I may put it in a pinned comment. But make sure you check that out. She is wokety woke. And her city is in basically, her city's turned into a third world country under her watch. And she's getting a promotion for that. What a racist country, huh? That's that no other sign of a racist country is that the police chief in Portland just 2 years ago could get a promotion. The police chief in Portland, which is just run by pro-Tifa, because they're pro-fa. The city that's completely run by pro-Tifa, she could come from there, letting that city disintegrate into what it became during the Floyd riots, get a promotion, promoted to one of the flagship cities on the East Coast, go there, on her watch, that city turns into Beirut in the 80s, or just a complete killing field. Then a year and a half later, she gets another promotion to the biggest city in the country to go run their police department. And we got to hear all day about racism. And then we got to hear about racism in policing. The police departments are inherently racist. Well, I can't tell, man. There's some strange racism. This that new racism. Well, you gotta look hard. Is this that Jesse racism? You gotta fake it. You gotta pay $3,500 for it. Is this that type of racism? Because I'm sure when she goes to New York and inevitably fails there, like she did in Portland and Philadelphia, and she gets criticized, she'll claim that they're only criticizing her because she's a sister.
Jim Kenney and Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw are responding to rumors that Outlaw may be leaving to the city, maybe leaving Philadelphia and heading to another city, the Big Apple. Jeff Cole live tonight at the Roundhouse. And Jeff, that's not the only controversy among city leaders.
It is not in law enforcement in this city right now. Will Danielle Outlaw pack up here and head up I-95 to head New York City's massive police force? If she's leaving, she has not told the mayor, and Outlaw is being careful.
Huffling creatures move at the sluggish...
Mayor Kenney reads a holiday story in Love Park, likely the best moments on a day when he was pressed on whether his top cop is leaving town. Is Danielle Outlaw leaving to go to New York?
Not that I'm aware of. I've heard rumors too, but We're not confirmed anything. She hasn't had a conversation with me about it, and don't know. I mean, that's all I hear is rumors.
Those rumors have placed Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw, 2 years on the job, as a finalist to run the massive police force in New York City under Mayor-elect Eric Adams. Speaking on a city Zoom on violence, Outlaw did not knock down the rumors. If you were offered the job to run the New York City Police Department, you are going to take that job, correct?
I'm not going to comment on hypothetics, Jeff.
Of course she is. It's a promotion. If you were in charge of the school system in any other city but New York, and New York comes calling, you're gone. If you're in charge of the train station in any other city in New York comes calling, the airport in any other city in New York comes calling, the Department of Public Works in any city in New York comes calling, the financial department of any city in New York comes calling. The taxi cabs in any other city in New York. If you're in charge of anything and the people from New York come calling and say, we want you to run our stuff, you know that's a raise, an exponential raise, and it's a promotion. You're on the world stage, you're on the national stage. You're the whatever that is in New York. Your local radio host, let 105.1 or Hot 97 come calling. Your local radio host is no longer your local radio host. Anything in New York, it's a promotion. She's being promoted for, at the best, mediocrity, and at the worst, just horrible performance. You think she's not going to take it?
I'm not going to comment on hypothetics, Jeff.
Outlaw says she's flattered to be linked as a contender for the big job and argues she's still focused on her work here. Philadelphia, like other big cities, has struggled with a spike in killings, now at a record-setting 523. Has she proven viability? I mean, has she proven with what's going on here to be able to go to New York City?
Be careful how you answer that, white boy. Be careful how you answer that. Now, I know this is his last term as mayor, so he's on his way out anyway. I think he served his limit. Still, he may have aspirations to be in another public office or anything, consult anywhere. You do not want to go into that new job branded as a racist. Be careful how you answer this question.
Has she proven viability? I mean, has she proven with what's going on here to be able to go to New York City?
I think she's extremely capable.
Outlaw's future is not the only issue roiling law enforcement. There's the DA's stunner Monday on violence.
We don't have a crisis of violence, and that is a category that includes gun violence.
The mayor says there is one. But Krasner's claim is that we don't have...
Well, we do. Yeah, we do. With
He's
500.
wrong.
Jeff, I just said we do. So I don't know how many other ways you want me to say
So
it.
the outlaw agrees with Kenny and says Krasner's words don't help in the fight. And that doesn't help your efforts to combat violence, in your view.
No, it does not, because I think we all have to have a shared understanding of the problem that we're addressing.
Now, I will give this sister this. If at this point, 5 years ago, they had 250 murders for the whole year. I think about 270, maybe, somewhere around there. 250 in that ballpark. The last 2 years, they've had 500. And the DA says that they don't have a violence problem. So, yeah, she may want to get out of there. She may want to get out of there. She's not doing the greatest job, but if the DA doesn't even think that there's a problem and he's freeing criminals, violent criminals every day, he's throwing out gun charges. Like if you get caught with a gun in Philadelphia, man, like it would be worse for you to get caught with one of AOC's mythical loaves of bread, Because if you get caught stealing a loaf of bread out of a store, you're going to spend probably maybe a little bit more time in jail than if you get caught with a gun in Philadelphia. So she might want to get out of there just on the strength that the DA, no matter how many people they arrest, the DA is going to let them right back out onto the street. And no matter how many people those people he let out kill, he's not going to think that there's a crime problem or there's a violence problem.
No, it does not, because I think we all have to have a shared understanding of the problem that we're addressing.
So will Outlaw go to New York? She says the process is the process, and New York City, and says if she has something to tell the city, she'll do that. Live at the Brown House Police Headquarters, Jeff Cole, Fox 29 News. Shayna.
We'll see. Thank you, Jeff.
Attention on the surge of gun violence and homicides, perhaps underreported in Philadelphia, is the dramatic increase in the crime of carjacking. The city is experiencing an increase of 80% of the number of carjackings compared to last year, and nobody can quite answer the question why. Live at police.
No one can quite answer the question of why. He gotta be joking, right? He's serious? No one knows why. Carjacking's up 80%. Listen, man, let me tell you just something, man. Right? So, Steph Curry's averaging 30 points a game, right? If Steph Curry, from here on out, his scoring goes up 80%. Steph Curry will be averaging 54 points a game. And you think somebody on SportsCenter wouldn't be able to look at why, like, oh, maybe he's hitting more threes, he's hitting more foul shots. He's something. The coaches call it more plays. Something. Everybody in the NBA forgot how to play defense. Something happened. Something, right? They will be able to answer why, right? No one can answer why carjackings are up 80%. No one knows why. So, I mean, we have a pretty intelligent group here at Ock Nation. Anybody want to take a stab at it? No pun intended. Anybody want to take a stab at it?
The city is experiencing an increase of 80% of the number of carjackings compared to last year, and nobody can quite answer the question why. Live at police headquarters is Action News reporter Bob Brooks. Bob, you've spent part of your night talking to the city's latest carjacking victims.
Yeah, Jim, I did. They are two young Temple students, a couple, and tonight they don't have a car, but luckily they're going to be okay. Tonight, couple Seth Dabrowski and Cleo Cohen consider themselves lucky to be alive.
Pass. But look, they go to Temple. They know, like, they're in Philly. This isn't like Penn State. You know what I'm saying? They are in the trenches of Philadelphia. Just last week, one of their fellow students was murdered during a robbery by, like, I think a 16 to 17-year-old who had been raining terror on that neighborhood and carjacking. He's a suspect in multiple other carjackings. And he was arrested for robbery last year. They just threw out. Let him go, Larry, a.k.a. Mr. Softy. and look at them. I wonder if they can give us any insight as to what's going on here in Philly and what may be causing all of these carjackings.
Tonight, couple Seth Dabrowski and Cleo Cohen consider themselves lucky to be alive.
I just didn't believe it was happening to me.
Just last night, Cohen had borrowed her boyfriend's Pontiac Vibe, and around 9:30, she was returning it, attempting to parallel park near his home in the 1700 block of Edgley Street in North Philadelphia.
I was having an annoying time parallel parking, so I had called him.
Then she got a knock on the window.
Told me to get out and showed me that he had a gun. And then I started screaming.
She's lucky that guy didn't blow her brains out for screaming. And I'm not joking with you. These young guys out here on the street, they'll shoot you for screaming because you're attracting attention. And I get it. She says she couldn't believe that this happened. You know, but these young boys are smoky for that.
Told me to get out and showed me that he had a gun. And then I started screaming.
The Temple student did the right thing. She got out and gave the suspect the keys, but not before he pointed the gun right at her.
I was like standing outside a few feet away from it and just like screaming for help.
And with Seth, also a Temple student, still on the phone hearing her scream, he went running out. And when he got to her, he decided to get them away alive.
Saw someone in there and thought, all right, what's the best thing to do? Just get out of this situation. So I took her and we went around the corner.
What the couple experienced is what so many others have in the city this year. There's been a surge in carjackings, many caught on tape, where passengers have been thrown out of cars and brazenly held at gunpoint. And as of December 2nd, there have been 685 carjackings in Philadelphia, compared to 410 in 2020 and 225 in 2019. And luckily, the couple escaped only without a car. But 2 Sundays ago, their fellow Temple student, Samuel Collington, was killed during a botched carjacking in broad daylight just off campus. And since then, 17-year-old suspect Lateef Williams has turned himself in. And Jim, as it stands right now, Seth's car is still missing. And that is the latest. For now, reporting live outside police headquarters, Bob Brooks, Channel 6. Action News, Jim.